Within every hedgehog lurks the capacity for great good or great evil. Witness the terrifying transformation of one hedgehog from animal to animal. And watch his unbelievable rampage as he rampages stuff. Hello everyone, Watch's Review here with a look at Were Sonic, or Sonic the Were-Hog, whichever sounds sillier. Now, you might be wondering why Sonic is apparently a werewolf, and the answer might be that he's howling mad that his last 4 or 5 games have completely sucked. I know I'd be pretty pissed too. I'd Hulk up or go beast form or whatever. Now, you're possibly also just wondering the logic behind Sonic turning into a werehog, or them even calling it a werehog, just because, typically the second part of the word is what you turn into, and seeing Sonic is already a hedgehog, this makes no sense in any sense of the word. Unless he's turning into a pig, because I've seen some hairy pigs. I don't know, folks. I honestly, I'm at a loss here. At any rate, let's open this up and take a look. In the werehog's defense, I haven't actually played Sonic Unleashed. I've only played the demo. I mean, there might be a really good reason why they choose to call him a werehog, and there might be some sort of a deep significance behind this bestial form. But then again, there might be some deep significance behind Sega systematically destroying what was at one point one of their top properties and relegating it to this. Not that there's anything wrong with this, but is this really Sonic? I mean, come on, folks. Although, I mean, honestly, it is a pretty cool looking character design. It's just that the demo didn't really enjoy it, and over the past few years, Sega really has dropped the ball with a lot of their releases. I mean, as much as I'll probably be disliked for saying this, I think the brand sort of caved after Sonic Adventure, where they tried to incorporate a few things that didn't necessarily take. For example, just taking the whole emphasis completely off Sonic and pushing these other characters and fishing mini games and wandering through the same stage multiple times with different characters, which was really, really annoying. But that's a horror story for another time. I'm not going to get into Biggs the Cat at all, but so we're here to discuss Sonic, put out by the lovely, lovely company Jazzware. I'm sure most people are familiar with their work. So, the reputation does sort of precede itself. Although, in their defense, I mean, this isn't a terrible figure. I mean, it just looks like it could barely support its own weight here, and I imagine the joints will probably snap or bend at some point, given that it doesn't seem all that well designed. But he did come with a stand to help, I guess, balance it out, and is there some significance to the stand? I don't know. But it looks like a buzzsaw. Now, design-wise, the Were Sonic, or Sonic the Were-Hog, is a kind of creative touch. Well, I mean, I guess you could call it creative. I'm sure you could also call it a lot of other things, but I do actually like this look, and I picked this up, not because I enjoy the game, which I didn't really like the Were Sonic part in the demo. I mean, the racing stages, the normal Sonic stuff was cool and all, but because I'm a fan of werewolves and were everythings, it is a really cool look, and or you don't know, at which point I will tell you. First off, I really like the amount of detail in this figure. Now, the fur has these little cuts in here for texture. Now, fur typically is handled in all sorts of way, from drawing it in to actually making cuts, but the depth that they've cut it makes the texturing visible even from a fairly good distance. Unfortunately, it doesn't look as well on the chest area here. I've also always liked this effect where you have like these tufts of fur at the like ends of arms, or sort of like the hackles around the neck. Now the color of his shoes is like this darker red, and which blends in with the gray. And why am I talking about this? I don't know, but it's just a really cool looking color, and despite the fact that this is actually all just the same color, I can't see any actual paint texturing or anything. It looks like the texturing is there, just from the way that the sculpt and the paint was handled. In general, the colors just seem to work well, even though that this green is a little bit funky, but, why do I keep saying I don't know that, but in terms of articulation, we have a pin joint here at the elbow. It only goes one way despite looking like it goes both, because this portion comes down a bit. Ball jointed shoulder. Again, you can see a pin right there. A few companies have been doing that, and I just think it looks really cheap when you can see the pins like that. Head only rotates, doesn't go up and down. Yeah, it will probably pop off if I try doing that. There is motion at the waist, but again, it's like a really thin joint, so I'm worried about damaging it. Now, the legs are all hinged, and the knees hinged as well with pin joints, so it won't be able to kick out to the side. But Sonic really isn't known for side kicks and leaping kicks and crap like that. He's known more for spin dashing his enemies from midair. But pin joint here at the knee. Actually, you do kind of get that. I'm sorry. I didn't really mess around with that because I was worried I'd break it, but you can actually spin that, so he does kind of have... But the motion still doesn't come out. It's just like a pivot / rotation, not... Even that looks like the joints sort of popping. Meh. And then down here at the ankle, it rotates as well. So, for what it is, it has a okay range of articulation. I picked this up for, I think it was about $6, which, I guess is okay for price for something on this scale. I believe he goes for cheaper every now and then, but the other interesting thing is looks like more of a darker scheme on the back of the package, but kind of happens. I don't think I'll be picking up anything else from the line. I have a bendy Knuckles that I've had for some number of years, and I'm happy with it, and the other characters just don't really strike me as being all that, compelling. I did see the Robotnik, was it Metal Sonic or Mecha Sonic in stores, which I was tempted to pick up. Might still go back and do it. I mean, most of the really new characters, like Shadow and Silver, just don't really intrigue me at all, but, until next time, folks.